Hello everyone, this is Thursday Mindset Breakdown again. So this time, it's gonna be the first time that I comment about an MMA fight. This case is gonna be my fight against Anderson Silva, aka Bradock. So he's a great guy, Brazilian guy, kickbox legend. So my opponents changed so many times, and then eventually when we signed the agreement, was against like a friend, not necessarily that I expected as my first MMA fight, because it's a guy that I know, so would be like a friend, would be like something different because I never had the feeling of MMA before. And the first fight somebody that I know, that guy that is a friend, so it was a little bit I don't know what to really expect, but we had the contract signed. It's a sport, we both go there, gonna give our best and see what happens. So I remember like a lot of people ask me, oh, what are you thinking? Well, how was that in the first for the first fight? Being honest, I thought it would be like so different, because I remember in the warm-up area, like wrapping my hands, it was something that of course I was nervous, but I talk with so many friends that I have that have more fights and more experience, and they kind of like talk me through how would be my feelings, what I would feel. So I knew already a little bit what to expect. So of course I was really nervous. I warm up a little bit too soon, then I cool down, I had to warm up again. So I didn't know these things already, so I didn't know what to do. Was a little bit different about that. But I remember walking to the arena, walking to the cage, I was really nervous. But once I started feeling my song, like listening to my music, to my walkout song, I was like, you know what, I'm ready. So before the fight, of course, I always, not just this fight, but in every fight that I go, I always try to have the conversation with myself. So that means I always try to find the reasons why you're doing it, right? Why I'm doing it. It's not because of my teammates, it's not because of my coaches, it's not because of the fans. I'm doing it because I choose myself I choose to be here. I put myself in that position. So that was the moment that when you start like finding the answers for that, why you doing it, everything changes. So when I walked to the cage, I was a completely different guy that walking to the van, going to the arena. So because going to the arena in the car, you have the butterflies, you have the doubts, you don't know what's gonna happen. But after I have the conversation with myself and I find the right reasons why I'm doing it, everything changed. So nobody pushed me to be there. I choose myself to put in that position. It was so much like blood, sweat, and tears all over my career. So it's something that I want to be here. I put myself in the position. So that was my mindset once I was stopped in the cage. And I remember, not for this fight, but every fight when I walk in the cage, when the announcer is calling us, talking about our titles, records, I look to my opponent and I know I have a better jiu-jitsu, and I know I'm gonna use my jiu-jitsu to finish the fight and to use my jiu-jitsu to win the fight. So that's the only thing that I have in my mind. So when the referee call us, I don't really like to look in the face, so I do more like Jose Aldo style, looking down and concentrate. That's what I like to do. I remember we started the fight, I saw so many videos of Bradock knocking people out. We start with the left hook and then the right cross. So I saw he like knocking so many people out, so I was really scared about that. So of course I knew I want to shoot, but I didn't know how. So that's why I choose to throw like a right hand and use the same hand to get in the takedown, which I did, and it works. So I got like a really good grab on the legs, and once we hit the cage, I used the bouncing of the cage to bring him back and finish on top. You see the difference when I got him on top. So I tried to get like a really good control. My plan wasn't to get the mount so fast because I was afraid of him like use the explosion to bump me up. In this moment was really interesting because we were close to the cage. I like to use a lot the cage to smash my opponents in the cage, but I heard his corner, because that's something that I pay a lot of attention in the corner since my jiu-jitsu days. And I heard his corner man saying like, yeah, drag yourself to the cage and use the cage to get up. So, okay, so that's his strategy. That's what he trained for, to get up with the cage. So, all right, so let's get away from the cage. That's why I circle him out and put our heads in the center of the cage, because now I would give him a hard time. So in that moment, I didn't know what to expect. So I didn't know the timing, how long was left. So I was trying to rush a little bit too much and start punching. You see how he hit the head, so I couldn't hit the back of his head. So I was trying to manage space, and I find some openings and I hit him with 2 elbows. In MMA is different, because when you're using the hits, the blows, you force your opponent to change. So it's how you see the openings. So like I said, it was my first fight. I didn't have too much experience. In that moment he turned, I saw like opportunity to do like an arm triangle, but it's so much adrenaline and so much things going on. So I didn't want to spend so much energy in their arm triangle, and maybe he don't tap and I'm on gas and we scramble and get back on the feet. So I was really afraid to spend energy in the wrong situation. So that's why I didn't attack his arm right away. So you see now how I have the quarter mount, and I was punching him, but you see how I use my knee to pop his leg out. So that moment was like really like a technique that I use a lot in the game. You see how I pop his knee up and take my leg out, right away switch the hooks and pass his guard. So I went right away to the side, to the north-south, because in one championship it's legal ground knees. In the other organization it's not legal. So for me, I'm a grappler. When I have this position, it's perfect, because I can use the knees on the head from the north-south. And like I said, every hit, every blow that you throw, the opponent has to defend. If he doesn't defend himself, the referee can stop. So in that moment, the referee called a catch, and he was saying, okay, now I'm good. But I couldn't lock my hands together. So after now, I lock my hands and I start doing the pressure, and that was when he tapped it. So in this moment was like super tight, and I squeezed and got my first MMA victory. So it was like a mix of feelings of like relief and a joy, and it's hard to translate with words, because it was a transition after so long and doing on top of jiu-jitsu for so many years, to do something that nobody ever done. I won the most world titles of everyone else, and then going to something new. It was a lot of pressure, but pressure from other people, but pressure myself, because okay, you're doing something new, so you have to be sure that that's really what you want. And that was it. So the first victory, the first MMA, how I felt was okay, that I think was the right choice. So I moved to another state. I started like a life from a new beginning. So it was a little bit different. So it was okay, that's it. I'm gonna keep an MMA. So I like the feeling, so let's keep going. Thank you very much. That was one Thursday Mindset Breakdown. I hope you like it. So don't forget to comment comment below which fight you want me to comment next. And if you didn't subscribe yet, make sure to subscribe the channel. Thank you.